All right, welcome back, everybody. So we're going to pick up where we left off on Jesus of Suburbia. This is part 2, or section 2, or segment 2, whatever you want to call it. So here's part 1, if you haven't seen that yet. We are actually continuing to use all the same power chords that we did in section 1. So that's still how this all knits together very well. All these parts are still, all in the same sort of key and utilizing the same or identical chords throughout, just rearranged in different ways. There's one extra note that's a little different than what we did in the last one. And so I'll take you through that. So again, we're starting in C sharp. In terms of the tone, check out video 1 where I talk about how to get to the tone settings to get as close to Billy Joe's tone as you can. All right, so where we left off from the last one, we're going to start on C sharp. Now on the record, when he starts singing during this part, it's actually piano and bass and drum, and there's not actually guitar on the first part of it. But you can easily play it, and it sounds good if you do, if you actually introduce single note stuff while he's doing that on the vocal part. So the notes that you're going to do are C sharp on 4th string on A, and you're going to slide it down 1 fret. That's the new note, C. So 3rd string on A. Then you're going to jump up to 6 on your E string, which is your B flat, and you're going to go down to A flat. So that's the part where the piano is playing, and there actually isn't guitar on that while he's singing. So right now, if your fingers are big enough to stretch, you can position yourself where you can start with your middle finger. You already have your index finger on there for the next one. You can reach your pinky and then back to your middle finger. Then you have your hand in the whole position to do all of those. You can have each one of your fingers owning a fret for that, to make that easy. And if you can't stretch yet, if your fingers are small, just move them. Okay, here's where the guitar comes in on the record, and you're going to have this real. Doesn't matter where you started up here, but you're going to grab the E string somewhere up here. Sounds good to me if you started on the 14th fret, because that's where you're going to end on the octave of that, and you're going to land on a bar chord, or a power chord on the 2nd fret, and then come up to 4. Right? So again, the whole part. So that's part 1. Part 2 is almost identical, and on the record there is a little bit of guitar, and he just has a little flourish on it. So instead of going, he does, which is a hammer-on. So you're going to hammer on. Now if you don't do that, if you're not ready for that, don't worry about it. Just do what we did on the first part and you'll be fine. But on the record, he does. Then he goes down to your next note, and he does the same flourish. Right? So it's a hammer on, 2 frets up above is what he's doing. So he does it on the 1st note and the 3rd note. Whoops. Again. So coming out of that, then we're going to slide up and we're just going to do a bunch of power chords now. And they're all in the same positions where we were before. Start up in 6. Slide down to 4. Slide over to your A string on 4, power chord. Right? 2nd fret E string. And then it ends with 6 to 4 to 2. Right? So that's all one section. They repeat the whole thing. And at the very end of the second repeat, the only thing that's different is how they end that section and how they're about to go to part 3. So we're going to end this up on the very ending of part 2, and next week's episode will have part 3, right? So the way that ends, the way they change the ending at the very end is... That's it. Then it goes into, which we'll do next time, right? So it changes on the feel of it. Same chords as the first time around. So the first time around you did, and then it went back to that part. The last, on the very end of the song, or the very end of that section, the difference is. It's just a different feel. I don't know what the count is there. But that's the right hand pattern. And that's how you end part 2. All right, that was Green Day, Jesus of Suburbia, part 2. Let us know what you think of that. I'll be back next week to bring you part number 3. Work on this. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you haven't done already, please subscribe. It helps a lot. And give us a thumbs up and ring the bell. Okay? Until next week, thank you. Take care, everybody.